Welcome to Hoffman's Hunting Heritage.
From the Great Lakes to the Heartland, from mountains to the sea, there's a hunting heritage in the blood of folks like you and me. With rut bucks and goblin struts, it's hunting that we love. Mother Nature guides us on this land, and we give thanks up above. This hunting heritage is a bond that never fades away. We're your camo wearing family from across the USA. So fill your cup and listen up, y'all mean so much to me. It's time for the show, so go grab your bow. This is a wild place to be.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Hoffman's Hunting Heritage. I'm your host, Bill Hoffman, and this week's guest is once again Mr. Jacob Hacker. What's going on, man?
What up, Billy?
For those of you that don't know or don't realize who this man is, get yourself a clue and go listen to the other episodes we did. I like to say Jake Hacker is an acquired taste, and if you don't like him, you need to acquire some taste.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
actually
put that on my business card.
You can't. It's actually one of my jokes in my act. I've never said it about you at all. I just threw that in there. But no, Jake is one of my best buddies here in the outdoors industry. He works full time in the industry. Right now, he is in his car driving. What state are you in right now?
I am in eastern Iowa now.
He's in eastern Iowa, headed back to southern Ohio to see the wife and kid before he heads out on another hunt. And I mentioned his wife and his kid specifically because I want to talk about our families, Jake. I want to talk about getting our kids involved in the outdoors. We are both outdoorsmen, have been. We both got our start in the outdoors as kids. And I think it's really cool that we are passing along that, wait for it, heritage, that hunting heritage to our next of kin. And, I've got my daughter Summer is 10 as this is being recorded. My son is 6. Your little guy is just a little bit younger than my son. And my son doesn't have anything killed yet. My daughter does. And your little dude's having a heck of a year. So we're going to kind of just get into that. I've talked about, turkey hunt with Summer and Hunter and the deer hunt, that we had this year on previous episodes. So I'd like to kind of just, more focus on you and ask you a couple questions about getting your son involved in the outdoors. How old is he right now?
So Reed's 4 right now. He'll be 5 in November. So he's an older 4-year-old, but.
Yeah, 4-year-old. That just blows my mind. So, I don't even know where to start with this because it's just kind of crazy. But when did it really dawn on you that you were ready to start having him be the hunter? Now, I know we've taken our kids turkey hunting. I've spent time with Reed. He's an awesome kid. But like, at what point were you like, oh, he's ready to pull the trigger?
That's a tough question, and I think one thing I've been fortunate for the last 15, 16 years. I've worked with youth hunters and taken youth hunters out and got to experience all different age levels and levels of maturity. And it is such an individual thing, man. There was a set of twins that I took hunting when I was, I don't know, probably 21 or 22. And one of the kids was just totally ready and mature and ready for it. And the other one, he had no business being out there in the woods. So it's really knowing your kid and kind of logically thinking, these are all the steps that go into a hunt. Is my kid going to have a fun time doing this? Is he going to get a full experience? And then that's kind of how I broke it down and decided if he was ready to go or not.
Yeah, it makes total sense because I don't feel like Hunter is great in the blind. He's good to go, but I don't feel that he's at the level where he's ready to be the hunter yet. And it's kind of crazy when we talk about these 4 and 6 year olds because, you know, I couldn't start hunting until I was 11. No, 12. You could bow hunt at 12. You could gun hunt at 14. So, it's just so different nowadays, that they're able to start so much younger. But, I know you got Reed kind of started turkey hunt. Has he shot a turkey yet?
No, he hasn't shot a turkey yet. He's been hunting with me for a couple of years now, but he hasn't shot one yet.
Yeah, but I know you did take him on didn't you take him on a hunt where you killed a turkey with your bow with him in your lap and no blind?
Yeah, that was his first day ever out hunting with me. So he was 2 at the time.
And you just ran into the one suicidal turkey in the woods.
No, it worked really cool. He was 2 and he was loving the woods. Me and my wife went on a camping trip to Wyoming earlier in the year and took him out. And dude, I'm talking like a rugged backcountry hunt. And it was the happiest I've ever seen the kid. Like he was just having the time of his life. So, turkey season came around and, there was a place I knew we could hear birds gobble. He had one of those Drake's Adventures books, you know, where you hear the turkey gobble, and he just loved that since he was a baby.
Oh, so, yeah. I actually interviewed that guy, Keith.
Oh, really?
Keith Johnson? Keith Brooks.
Keith Bean.
Keith Bean, yeah, that's right. The guy, he's like one of the original guys that started Double Bull.
Yeah.
Yep. So for you guys, just real quick, they're called Drake's Adventures. They're the books where they have like buttons you can push that make sounds. They're awesome. They're fantastic for kids. So yeah, you know, pick them up. And they're great presents too. So anyway, so Reed's been chilling with the Drake's Adventures book, so he understands all the sounds and everything.
Yeah, so he was just excited. I just wanted to take him out, and get him close to a bird. I didn't really care if I killed anything or not. You know, I just wanted to let him hear a gobble was the goal of that hunt. And, you know, I'm a shotgun hunter for turkey season, but I didn't want to shoot a shotgun around a 2-year-old, just too loud.
Right.
Too many things can go wrong. So I took my bow with me, and we're on the ground. I get a bird to fire up after about 15 minutes in the woods, and that bird's like a mile away. And Reed heard it, and it was cool. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, this is a good hunt. We're done. And actually, it started walking back to the truck, and the bird gobbled again, and it was, you know, only half the distance this time. So we sat down real quick. I set Reed behind a tree, and I kneeled down right behind him and just told him to stay still. And he did, man. Stuck his little hands down his lap and kind of shrugged his shoulders and tucked his head. And had 2 big toms come in at 20 yards and just double gobble, triple gobble, just strutting, putting on a show and everything for about a minute. He got to watch him, from within 20 yards. And I was able to draw back and put an arrow in one on the ground. So that was a pretty cool hunt.
He's such a cool kid.
Yeah.
I
He's
remember
a good dude.
one of the times when we were hunting together, we went out to lunch and we're at this wing place, and you went off to the bathroom, but I was trying to get him to say "Go Blue," and I had my camera up right on my phone, and I'm like, "All right, Reed." And he goes, "Yeah." I was like, "You want $1?" And he's like, Sure, Mr. Billy." And I go, "Say "Go Blue," and he looks at me and goes, "I don't think my daddy would like that very much." I'm like, damn it.
He's, I taught him to say "ick" anytime he hears the word Michigan, because that's a bad word in our house.
Right.
Still, it was actually right after you came here. I'm like, man, I got to start preparing this dude for real life. You know,
Billy's gonna be trolling my kid for the rest of his life.
So he's learned to say "ick," every time he hears the word Michigan now, and it's wonderful. But we went up to Sleeping Bear Dunes a couple months ago, I guess.
Which is northwest Michigan.
Yeah, and it was just beautiful up there. And we get out on the beach of the lake, and Reed looks and he goes, "Daddy, Michigan's not icky at all."
Yeah, you're in like one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Yeah. So that's okay. I've re-brainwashed him. He understands the difference between right and wrong again. So
right.
Good.
No, that's good. That is great. But all right. So you got him out there. He got to see a turkey harvest. But this year, Mr. Hacker got himself a Raven crossbow, and you got that thing bloody.
Man,
a lot.
That thing's fun, man. So I'm at a point in my hunting life where, like, I don't care what I kill something with. I've got nothing to prove in that category. So I just want to fill a tag, man. And I bought that Raven R26 for Reed to use, but that thing's fun. So I took it on my bear hunt in June and killed a bear with it, and took him on a hunt here a couple weeks ago, and he killed something with it, and I blasted a mule deer with it this week too. So it's putting some work in.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about that hunt with Reed. Give me a little bit of like the getting him ready, the practice shooting it, because I mean, again, he's 4, so he's not holding it right. You got to. Did you get like a sled system or something for it? So run me through like the setup, and then some of the practice sessions, and then the actual hunt.
Yeah. So I started feeling like he was old enough to be ready. He's a big kid. He's pretty mature and understands what's going on. And,
yeah, he is the size of Hunter. He like him and my 6-year-old.
He's a monster.
Him and my 6-year-old are pretty close in size. My 6-year-old is 2 belts away from being a black belt in Taekwondo. So I'm like, he's a big kid.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I wanted to make it fun for him. So he liked his crossbow. I took him to, I don't remember, Bass Pro or Field and Stream 1, and let him pick out a chair, one of those muddy swivel shooting chairs. I told him he could pick out whatever chair he wanted. That was going to be his shooting chair, and that's all we're going to use it for. And yeah, kids love having something personalized like that. So I let him pick that out, and then we got him a bog pod. It's not the Death Grip, but it's the one that's got the Velcro straps on it. It's got actually a rifle rest on it. I cut down the back side of the rifle rest so I can strap the crossbow in there for him. So we got him all set up, man. He's just comfortable with it. But there's enough wiggle in that bog pod where he can aim it however he needs to. So, with the Raven, I took the factory scope off of it and I put a Hollow Sun red dot scope on it because he's only going to be shooting 20, 25 yards max. So I don't need multiple reticles on there. So I just put that one red dot on there.
That's smart. That's very smart.
Man, it's just a lot easier to explain to him, here, put the red dot here, and it gets into some of our practicing, some of the reasons I use that. But, you just got to keep it simple and keep it fun and keep it personalized for him. And once I realized how much he liked that, then we really started looking into taking him on a little hunting trip.
Now, in Ohio, obviously he's 4. He's not going to take like hunter safety class. Is it like Michigan where they have the mentorship program where you can get your feet wet and you can hunt as long as someone's by your side for a few years before you got to take the classes?
Yeah, we call it, it's an apprentice hunting license in Ohio. So you have 2 years you can hold a hunting license without having the hunter education course.
Yeah, I think it's the same for us. Yep.
Yep. So we'll probably do that hunter education course next year.
You should take it with them. It's really obviously I know you will. I don't even know why I said that. But for other people,
yeah,
you should definitely, when your kids go, don't just drop them off. Just register for the course. Take that course too. There's a lot of safety stuff in there. There's a lot of reminders. I've taken it with both of my sisters and a couple little cousins and whatnot. And the reason I think it's real important that we as seasoned outdoorsmen take it is, well, one, you can see what your kids are being taught and just to make sure you agree with it, or I would hope you would agree with it or disagree with it. But you can, it's just a good refresher. It's a good reminder. And a lot of times those instructors are looking for other opinions or looking for, tell us about a situation where something happened where it was unsafe for you, and you can add a lot to those classrooms, if you speak up when they ask. But, anyway, I know I went off on a tangent, but for those of you that are getting your kids involved in the outdoors, make sure you take that class with them. Plus it's good bonding.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. It's a fun class. I took mine with my dad and some other guys I went to church with, and I've been through probably 15 of them over the last 20 years. I mean, it's just any chance I get a chance to go with somebody, especially a kid I'm mentoring, I like to go to them. Their educational class.
Yeah, not only that, and one more thing on it. For those of you in Michigan, don't do the online class and then a field day. Go find a place that's teaching the class and go do the hands-on class. All right.
Yep. Yep. Same for Ohio. I agree with that.
Yeah. So, okay. So, so you got him shooting, got the red dot on, and you decide that it's time for him to go on this grizzly bear hunt. Now, I didn't really think you would take him. No, I'm kidding, y'all. But you did take him on a big game hunt.
Yeah, so we took him on a hog hunt at a place in West Virginia. There were a few reasons that I chose to go that route. It was a high fence place. I am not an anti-high fence guy. I think they have a lot of value, and I think youth hunting, especially when you're starting to get off really young, is one of those places where a high fence place can really shine. So for Reed, I kind of showed him what some of the animals were there, and he said months ago he wanted to hunt a wild boar. So that's what we started practicing for. I got him a little 3D wild boar target to shoot at, and once or twice a week I'd print out pictures of hogs and give him like 10 pictures and make him draw, where he'd put that red dot on his crossbow. Draw me a little dot where you would aim at. If it's angled here, if it's turning here. And man, he just learned it so quick and picked up quick. And then we started getting into scenarios, like what do you do if the boars are running, or what do you do if there's a stick in the way, or if there's a baby with one? We just went over all the scenarios that I could think of and got him practicing that before we ever stepped foot in the field.
Reed's like, shoot the baby. They taste better.
No, he's a sympathetic little dude. So he was like, no, I don't want to shoot. He pretty much knew right off the bat he didn't want to shoot it if it had a baby with it. So that was kind of cool. Yeah.
And then, so you're West Virginia, and how many sits did it take?
We killed the boar and on the first day, but it was pretty tough, man. It was, we started out hiking, on foot, just me and him walking through this place. We're the only people in there. And it was big, man. I don't know what the acreage of it was, but we hiked it in the morning for about 3 hours, and I only saw a fence one time, and that's when they dropped us off. I mean, it was a big property. And as soon as we would get around the hogs, if the wind was wrong, they were gone. I mean, as fast as they could run, they were out of there. So, started raining on us, man. It just kind of turned it into a little tougher hunt. And, we called, there was the guide there, his name was Juan. We called Juan and said, hey man, I think you can just drive us around a side by side for a little bit. Reed's legs are tired. So he took us around driving for a little bit, and eventually we were able to glass up some hogs that were bedded and put a stalk on them, and got Reed in position to make about a 15-yard shot on him. Man, he smoked them.
Oh, and, man.
It was cool, but it just being in that high fence place. One of the shots that we never practiced at home was a downhill angle. I just didn't think of having him practice shooting at a steep angle. So where these hogs were was really steep. So we had to, set up and get his tripod set up. And, I'm trusting him where he's aiming at this point. I can't look through the scope for him. So I'm setting it up, and he's telling me what we can see, and the hogs are laying down. So, it's not that normal broadside shot that he's been practicing on. So, we're talking about the heart and the lungs and the anatomy of the pig, while we're bedded there, and had a little bit of time before he pulled the trigger, and he just made a great, perfect heart shot. It made it about, 15 yards and toppled over, and it was done. So couldn't have worked out any better for him for his first hunt, man. He got some success. He got to see some animals, and he had a great time doing it.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, and obviously I'll probably use the picture, the grip and grin for the cover photo of this episode, but so I know it's a bigger hog, but how was it eaten?
How was it eaten?
How are they good? Are they good eating?
Oh yeah, dude, they're terrific. I've killed several hogs, and I've killed them free range, and I've killed them high fence. And if you can kill a hog, man, that's not too terribly old, it is some of the best meat. It might just be one of those things I've got a taste for, but man, it's good meat. We take some of the steaks and pork chops and make them. I make a really, really good breakfast sausage out of it. This particular one was super fatty, so I got to take all the fat off, and we'll render that down for something at a later time. But no, it was really, really good. Reed Reed loves it, man. Anytime we eat it with dinner, he's just super proud.
That's cool. Yeah. Hey, I gotta send you a recipe. I got a recipe from Meat Eater for an apple breakfast sausage.
Okay.
Oh man, it's so good, especially if you're already making good breakfast sausage and you put a little bit of the apple in it. It's perfect. It's absolutely awesome. I'll just send that over to you. But so all right, I'm digging it. I'm not a huge crossbow guy. I'm not anti crossbow. It wouldn't break my heart if they weren't used in archery season, but whatever. If it's legal, it's legal. And I understand it gets more people in the woods, and that is probably the best thing overall. All that being said, what's next for him?
Well, we're deer hunting now, man. So deer season started in Ohio a couple weeks ago, and we hunted opening night. Me and him and my wife Rebecca went out. They sat in the blind, saw some deer. I've got him a little spot around us now in Cincinnati. He and I are actually going to go set up. Hopefully, I'm home later tonight, so he and I can go put out a blind and a camera tomorrow and get that place all set up, and hopefully be back deer hunting with him maybe Wednesday, Thursday next week. Awesome,
yeah. So he's hopping right into it, and doing all the same practicing. The red dot. Did you keep the red dot on it for your mule deer hunt?
No, so I take it off. So I want to be able to shoot a little farther, but it's so easy on that bow and the scope they send with it, and then the Holosun scope. They're pretty easy just to interchange. Keep them. Take a shot every time I switch it out. But
just make sure they're zeroed and you're good to go.
Yeah. Usually stays right on.
I'm totally into it, man. I don't right now. I would imagine probably Hunter. If I got a crossbow, Hunter would be ready for turkey season next year. Don't really like shooting turkeys with a crossbow, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Summer will be gun hunting next year for turkeys because she's a little turkey assassin. So yeah, I think we're on the same page here. As long as your kid is ready for it, that's an individual choice between the parents. And as far I know, we both agree that when it comes to special youth seasons and stuff like that, we are both, supporters of that. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, the dads are shooting them and tagging it with it." I think that's, crime's going to happen, poachers are going to happen, no matter what. So that doesn't outweigh the benefit of getting the kids out in the woods.
Yeah.
I just ask that when you do get your kids out in the woods, be safe. That's what matters the most. Be safe, have fun, and don't get frustrated with them. I take my kids out hunting. It's a turkey morning. It's early April. Maybe it's a little cold. They got to pee. They're whining. When they're ready to go, the hunt's over.
Oh, it's done. Yeah, game over.
It's about them, guys. It's you're not going to teach them to be tough in the blind. It's not how it works. They're going to start to resent it. And you know what happens is, what the memory of hunting with dad is? How cold I was. It's not like how much fun I had and whatnot. So I know Jake's been on the show before, and he said he defines a successful hunt as punching a tag. And I'm guessing your definition of a successful hunt's a little bit different if Reed's there.
Oh yeah, it's a total difference.
Yeah. So that's the point, guys. Just keep it fun for them, and there's nothing, do I take electronics in the blind? Yeah. The kids and I were watching a movie when I shot that doe a couple weeks ago, but it's all about, spending the time out there and keeping it fun for them. Will they eventually learn to focus on everything and take everything in? I don't know, because I listen to audiobooks in my tree stand. So who am I to judge? Everyone's a little bit different, So anyway, keep it safe, keep it fun, and most importantly, Jake, why do we want to get our kids outdoors?
Well, we'll get there, but I don't think we're done covering this.
Oh, okay.
We've skipped an entire process of taking a kid hunting that we got to cover.
Oh yeah, I'm totally game. Yeah.
So when the kid does kill something, you've got to make sure your kid's old enough and prepared to handle that process, because to a kid or to somebody who's a non-hunter or a first-time hunter, the after kill process is kind of a gruesome process, and you gotta be prepared to know if your kid's ready. You know, are they ready to stand there while you gut it? Are they ready to stand there while you skin it? Should they not be watching that part? And are they ready for the emotional roller coaster that comes with hunting? And it sounds silly to say that, but I think anybody who's ever, especially archery hunted, you get that adrenaline rush. If you don't feel just a little bit bad when you shoot an animal, there's something wrong with you. It's just, that respect and appreciation for nature and the animal. The kids feel that too. And Reed had that little bit of emotion. It was maybe a couple hours after he shot his hog, and he wanted to talk about it. He didn't want to take any more pictures. He wanted to talk about what just happened and what he did. And, we've always talked about conservation and why it's important to hunt and why hunters are an important part of the process. But he needed to talk about it again. And after that, he was just pumped and ready to go. But you can't ignore when those emotions pop up in a little kid. You got to be ready to handle them and talk about them.
I didn't even really think about that. Hey, did you so my kids, we grew up. My kids have grown up on the lake, right? So
yeah.
Catching fish, eating fish, gutting fish, putting the remnants in the garden, and all. So that, as far as that goes, it is what it is. Did you? And they've seen me clean geese and stuff. Did you watch any like field dressing videos with him or anything, or skinning videos or anything, or has he just been around it enough? 'Cause I know you cut up deer in your garage and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean I process all my own deer, so he's seen it. The way I worked him into it was kind of backwards. He's eating steak as a kid and eating hamburgers and stuff, so I kind of bumped it to the next phase. Well, here's what a whole deer leg looks like. I get back from one of my trips to Wyoming and show him a deer leg and show him how I cut the different pieces off. And he goes, oh, okay, I get that. And then I show him, a whole deer hanging in the garage. This is what it looks like after it's skinned. And here's what it is with its skin. And just kind of add in one more little layer every time. And he's kind of he's a little weirdo. Like he likes to look at the arteries. That's every time I skin a deer. He wants to look, the veins run along the skin side after you skin it. Right. He always wants to look, and he's just super interested in how everything works and how the body of an animal or a person works. But that's how I got him kind of desensitized to it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's desensitized or it's just educated. I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. I'm glad you stopped me from ending the show, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's something I really hadn't considered. I haven't gutted a deer in front of my kids yet.
Yep, it's
I've cut deer up.
Yep.
I've taken meat. Taken the inner loins, and we've had them that night. They understand where it comes from. But I hadn't really considered the emotional aspect of it. Now, I shot that doe the other night, and we found her a couple days later, and I did the whole episode on it. I talked about it with the kids, and I had emotions about it that sucked. But it seemed to me like their emotions were like, yeah, it sucks because we didn't get the meat. And I'm like, well, that's part of it. So it'll be interesting. That's something I'm going to have to think about in that regards. Yeah. So thanks for bringing that up, man.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, Bill.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's important to get our kids involved in the outdoors. I remember seeing a bumper sticker years ago that said, if you hunt with your kids, you never have to hunt for them. Yep. And I think it just meant that, they'll always be by your side. Alicia and I have made the conscious decision that Hunter's not going to play football. And what does this have to do with hunting? Well, I can tell you this right now. Aside from the head injuries, and then we put him in martial arts where he gets kicked in the noggin constantly. But it's a different type of struggle there. But, in hunting came into that decision. It wasn't only because of the broken bones and the concussions. And I was a hell of a football player and could have played at the next level. But I missed a lot of time with Uncle. Yep. Because of hunting. And now if he grows up and his desire is to, do something other than hunting, well, no harm, no foul as far as that goes. Even hell, maybe watch my kid be in marching band or something like that, and he's still got to go to the football games. But not that there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I'm a musician myself, so but I just think that when I look at the way we approach fatherhood as outdoorsmen, I think that you and I are on the right page of the way things should be.
Yep. Now, a question about keeping Hunter out of football, because Reed loves football.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you had made the same decision if you guys actually had a good football team in the state of Michigan?
Hey, how are those Browns and Bengals doing?
Nobody cares about that. We only like the professional sports at the Ohio State University. No one cares. No one cares about the NFL.
They are professional sports at the Ohio State University because the players are being compensated and paid against NCAA rules.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, brother.
See, that it's not rubbing, is not racing. This is like, what are you doing? It's not the same. It's like, you know what? Here's what I'll say is if you look over the all-time record, we're still a better football team.
You're only going to be able to say that for like 3 more years.
All right. Well, I'll let you know. when that changes, I've only got so many feathers left in my damn hat. I don't. Okay.
Yeah. And that only counts if you count the times when they wore leather football helmets. That doesn't count any of the new stuff.
Yeah, back when we were beating like Missouri School for the Deaf. I've looked at some of those records, and it's like Ithaca Technological University for Jewish Pride. I'm like, who's going to that school? It's like, oh, we beat them, and we still only beat them like 27-3 in like 1916. I'm like, come on. So anyway, it's important to get our kids outdoors. Why?
Because it's a wild place to be.
That's right. It's a wild place to be. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you back next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Hoffman's Hunting Heritage. Get outdoors. It's a wild place to be.